Okay, so within EdShed, whatever product that you have, we've got all of our different sheds up here, and these are different products, but the teacher hub will always look the same. It will always look like this. And you've got different admin-y things, from changing your password to looking at how many times the pupils have played on the different products. Purple is Phonics Shed, orange is Math Shed, and yellow here is Spelling Shed. So what I'll do first of all is I'll start off in the resources section, and we'll have a look around the different resources which come with Phonics Shed. Now, with our Phonics Shed subscription, you do also get access, as do the pupils, to Spelling Shed as well. So I'll show you a PowerPoint from that scheme right at the end, but you can also access these for free trials too. And SPAG also comes with Spelling Shed. So if you get Phonics Shed, you'll also have access to both of these things. So let's start with Phonics Shed. Now, Phonics Shed we have in different chapters. Chapter 1 is made up of the 9 elements, so is sort of pre-word reading. Chapter 2, we start with the early phonics, very similar to phase 2 for letters and sounds, and more or less it follows letters and sounds rather than teaching phase 4 separately. It's kind of embedded within the scheme, so that's the only main difference. So if I click within a chapter, let's go for chapter 3, then you can see here it's then set again into sets within the chapter. So if I click set 1, these are now all of the resources we need for teaching set 1, and you can see the GPCs there. So let's start with the planning and have a look at those. Now, the planning, we've got our usual lesson planning, which we've got here, and we've also got consolidation plans. And that's just so for those children that need to revisit GPCs, they're not continuously repeating the same lesson. So it's just another way of teaching this set of GPCs. Now, for our planning, we've got the PDF here, and we've also got the printable resources next to it. So any resources that are referenced here are available just there. And these are what our plans look like. So it starts off with our resources and the timings that we recommend. We've then just got the lesson overviews. And as you get going, and maybe when you're really familiar with the resources, you could possibly teach just from the overviews. If I then continue to go down, we've also got continuous and enhanced provision suggestions for the early years environment that go with these books and resources and GPCs within this planning. And then here we've got a very detailed lesson plan for lesson 1, which is Wing the Duckling. So again, it's really good. It gives you these resources, and these lesson plans are brilliant if you have lots of different phonics groups and you've got different adults taking these groups, because you know that the pupils are all going to be taught exactly what's needed to be taught because it's detailed in these plans, and you can kind of just hand them to anyone. So we've got our recap, which is reviewing sounds with flashcards, then recapping any high frequency words that have already been taught. And then our introduction always follows the same routine. So we show the flashcard, and I'll show you what these flashcards look like and our actions in a moment, so you know exactly what to expect. So our one for this one is, this is Wing the Duckling, say hi to Wing, and we introduce that, and we look at the letters that make up Wing's sound. And then we introduce the sound, demonstrate the ng sound, as in wing, and talk about digraphs. Then we talk about the name of the letters. We do our action for our GPC, and then we talk about where it appears in words. And in this point, we've got our best fit rules, so such as ng is never found at the start of the word, and our resources support all of this part too. Then for our whole group, we've got our song, which introduces the GPC, our letter formation, and most of them also have a story, which is how it's narrative driven, and we introduce each GPC with a teaching book. You've then got independent activities in simplify, expect, and extend. So here we've got a choice of choosing a picture card and saying the word, read and match the word to the picture, and then extend as a guided write. And then we have our plenary questions, which we use to assess the pupil's learning. Now, what I'm going to go from here is I'm going to go from here and show you all the different things that we would use within this lesson. So if I go back to EdShed here, and we'll go back to resources. Now, if we first take a look at the books, so I mentioned before the story within the planning. So here we've got Wing the Duckling and our teaching story. So you can also purchase hard copies of these as well, but this is really nice because it can go on the interactive whiteboard, and all of this comes with the digital subscription. So if we click start. Okay, and then it goes through the story. I won't go as far as to read the story to you. I'll just skip through so you can kind of see the types of visuals, and all of these are other characters from within the Phonics Shed and from other GPCs such as Curly the cat and Indy the imp here. Then we've got Kit the kangaroo. So it's really nice because the children then get to know these characters and they constantly pop up within the teaching books and the children's decodable books. And then at the end, we've got questions about the story and key vocabulary. So that's a teaching book. The children don't need to be able to read that. That's you introducing this GPC through a story. So if we click back, whilst I'm also at in the part where the books were, I'll also show you the decodable reading books that you can give to children. So you can assign these to people so that they can access them on their login. And if we choose the one which goes with the lesson that we looked at today, Wings, Big Racket, and then we can have a look at how these differ just slightly. So this is what it will look like for the pupil. You can click start and play. And here we are. So we've got Wings, Big Racket. And at the beginning of the decodable reading books, we've got high frequency words and example words, as well as revisiting how we sound out those words that we may struggle with. And here we are. So, and again, we've got Noah the nurse, who's one of our other characters popping up. And the pupils can read this as many times as you want. And if you assign it to them, you can see as from the teacher if they have read it or not, and if they've reached the end. And at the end, we've got questions about the story. So again, parents can get involved, or if you're in a guided reading group, you can use these. So those are our books. Next, I know it talked about a song. So what I thought as well is I'll play you the song that would have gone with our Wing the Duckling lesson. So here are our songs for chapter 3, set 1, and here's our Wing the Duckling one. You can simply click download. And then we can play this. And all the words as well for this are in the lesson resources.
Wing the duckling loves to sing. Singing is Wing's favorite thing. Whenever Wing sings a special song, everybody sings along.
So like I mentioned, we've got the words within the resources, but it's really nice that it shows those words so that pupils are able to point out the GPC that they have been learning. So if you're teaching this and you're not sure about our actions that I know were mentioned within the plans, all the different songs and sounds, sorry, or if you just would like teaching staff to have a bit of a refresh, we've got our pronunciation guidance videos. So we're still in our set 1 folder here. If I click that, these are here. Anything with this free symbol will be free for you to look at should you wish to take out a free trial. So if I click this, you'll be able to view our guidance video to see the actions and the sounds.
This is the NG digraph. The character for this digraph is Wing the duckling. It uses the letters N and G to make the ng sound.
Oh, sorry, it's struggling with my internet a bit.
And the action for the ng digraph is ng, ng, ng.
So that shows the action that you'll then teach the pupils. So they're all there if you need a quick refresh. The other things that were in the beginning parts of the plan were the letter formations. And we also have those here as animations should you wish to use them. So for example, we've got N and it's Noah the nurse's chair for N. And we've got our formation rhyme down here. So down from the handles to the wheels, then up and over its seat. So if you've taught the lesson and you've selected a few pupils that still haven't quite grasped it and need intervention, we have separate intervention plans. Now, these require minimal resources and are short 10-minute lessons designed for with 1 or 2 pupils. So I'll click into these so you can see our intervention planning as well. And all of these follow the exact same structure. So if you've got a member of staff who's in charge of your interventions, once they've taught a couple, they will all follow the same structure. So they're really simple to follow. So it's recapping previous sounds. See, so show the flashcard. Sound, run Joe's hand or your finger over the letters on the card and say the sound. So in this case, if it's Wing the duckling, it'll be ng, ng, ng. Going over the names, doing the actions, and each point getting the children to repeat these as well. Then it goes to listen. So I'm going to read some real words and alien words, tap or clap when you hear ng. And we've got a selection for you to read out for the children there. Then if you lay out your flashcards from above, can you point to the sound that we are learning today? So they have to find the sound. And then reading some sound. So writing these on a whiteboard and getting the children to read it, modelling our sound it, squash it, say it. And then finally getting the pupils to write. So first of all, the adult modelling the letter formation and modelling how to sound out and write the words, and then the children having a go at that. So all of them follow that see, sound, name, action, and then listen, find, read, and write. And there's also space down here for you to make any notes should you need to. So we've got those for all of the lessons within Phonics Shed, as well as the consolidation planning as well. So should you need to revisit the plans, you've essentially got 3 lesson plans for each GPC. So this is what we've got as our sort of everyday lesson resources. If I go back to our original Phonics Shed part here with our different chapters, we have also got handwriting resources, which I'll also click on to quickly show you. We've got our letter formation resources from the planning. We've also got ones that go for the alphabet, if you're doing alphabet lessons. I'll go for chapter 3 because that was the one that we were just looking at. So we've got all of those handwriting sheets that go with everything as well for you there. Also within our additional resources, we have sound mats and freezes and sound walls. We have parents and carer letters to explain how to use what phonics is essentially, and then how to use Phonics Shed with their children. We've also got some training videos and PowerPoints, our scheme overviews, I'll go into here so you can see some of we've got our flashcards, high frequency word cards. So if you want to purchase the digital option, you want to print some of these out, you can, as well as our prompts. So flashcards I'm going to show in a moment. What I will do is show, there's our alphabet mat, which we've got in upper and lowercase. I'll also download maybe our freezes so we can see what they look like. There we go. So all of these have got our characters in there as well that the pupils will very quickly get to know. Now, flashcards, I know we can print them out and we've got high frequency words there. We've also got this new digital tool. So if you didn't want to constantly be printing out and cutting and laminating, you can use them digitally as well. So if I click start flashcards session, and we'll go for graphemes first. Now I can click advanced here and have uppercase and lowercase. I can also select the graphemes that I want to show up within the cards. So say today we did chapter 3. There we are, Wing the Duckling. If we did Wing the Duckling today, we'd probably need a bit of a recap on whatever they had previously. So if I go from that to Wing the Duckling, there we go. And then you can also change the order should you wish to. You can shuffle them and then we'll click start. And what you can do is flip the card, and on the back, it will show the character. So the Rebecca the Broccoli is made up of 2 Curly the cats here. And we've got curl the curliest tail to her claws. That's our formation rhyme there. And you can go to next card. You can go to previous card. Maybe if they haven't quite got one, you can click see again, and that will just reshuffle it so it appears again. So that's a really lovely tool for you to be able to use and save laminating any cards. If I just show you what the advanced one looks like, that just also includes the uppercase as well. So if I go to chapter 3 and regular, so if I wanted to just click on specific ones, maybe for example, if it's an intervention group, so it doesn't follow a specific order, it might just be some of their gaps, you can then click random ones as well. The other one that it's got is it's also got this for high frequency words. So again, we can select them, we can select all from a specific set, or we can select specific ones that children need help with. If I go to 4B, just so you can see some of them. And again, you can drag and drop them, you can select other ones to go in there. Click start, and you can go next card. There's nothing to see on the back of these ones. Again, you can reshuffle them and click see again should you need to. Now I'm just having a quick look at our questions that we've got so far before I go on. We've got a question about it being compatible with the Big Cat Collins Decodable Books. Now this, as I mentioned before, basically follows letters and sounds. So if your reading books follow letters and sounds, that would be compatible with this. Children can access the letter formation from home. They cannot access the songs at the moment. And then we've got about the action. So the action was to do with ng, which is our Wing the Duckling, which is why it relates to our duck character. I'll just check our Q&A. So that's just in our chat. Okay, I'll have another look in a moment as we go on. Okay, our next thing I was going to show you is the games. So what I'll show you first, as a teacher, you can look at the game screen. So if I click play game, Now, I haven't got any work set for me because I am the teacher, which you can see at the bottom here, but I'll just show you what it looks like. Now, this is what it looks like for children if they have no work set for them. So they have access to everything here. I'll go on in a moment and explain how you would limit their access. So maybe if they're in reception, you wouldn't want them to have access to everything because they haven't learned those yet. But this is what it would look like if they hadn't got any work set for them. So here I can click on any of these. If I go up, because I feel like we haven't looked at some of these yet. And if I click here, we've got the sound. And here we've got different games. Now, every GPC has the same games, so the same game format, but obviously it will be with a different GPC. So if we go for a word one.
Same.
So that one, you just need to put in the missing sound.
Same.
And that's the game for beginning or ending of words. Click in another one. You've also got one where you need to match the graphemes. The easy, you just get a smaller selection of cards, and medium, hard, you just get a larger selection.
Ow. Or.
So the idea is to match the GPC with the correct noise, the correct sound. There we go. There we go. So that's a pair. And for those earlier ones, it would just be the single letter. If I go down and click on another one, and then we can look. Indie pop, they need to pop the balloons that have the same GPC on there. Or Dare in the Air, very similar. They need to go and catch the different letters.
Flew,
So
as in did fly.
So now we need to do that and collect the letters. Missed it. And you can also get hit down by the wasp as well. And then I'll just show you the matching words. So we were in vocabulary here.
Clay.
So then you're looking for the word clay.
Crayon. Stray. Say.
And you get the idea. So we have the same games for all the GPC, but obviously it would be focused on that particular GPC. And where you can find the formation animations are on the left there. The early games, so for before they get to reading and they're doing rhythm and sounds, you've got these other games here. So you can explore the Phonics Shed garden, for instance, and each of them makes a different noise. So you've got quite a few different ones like that. And there's also one with a keyboard and different instruments as well. Sound recorder, play music and sounds, that's the one I was thinking of. Now, also because I've got no work set for me, I can see all of the decodable reading books, which appear here on the bookshelf. If I had work set for me, I'd only be able to see the ones that my teacher had given me. And you can see them all here, chapter by chapter. Now, they do also have access to Spelling Shed, should you wish to use that. And the scheme starts in year 1 for Spelling Shed. If I click play, I'll just show you what that also looks like. Again, I've got no work set for me here, so I can see everything. But for stage 1, they have got a few different games. They have got one where they read the name aloud. I'll show you what it's like in, or it won't work if it's the whole list. You can also do this in phonics. So if I click medium.
Clock.
you can also get them to sound it out. I haven't had it there yet. Now I've got no work set for me, which is why I think it's a bit trickier here. What I'll do is I'll sign in as a pupil in a moment and then show you how you can also use phonics within Spelling Shed. Now, the next thing I was going to show you is the assessment tools. So if we go back, I'll show you the assessment tools and data, and then we'll look at what it looks like for a pupil that has got work set. And then that will be it. Okay, right, if we go back here. Right, I'm just having a quick look at the questions. Someone's saying, is there a document where we can see the order of GPC introduction? Yes, there is an overview, which will be in the resources section. Do the games cover tricky words too? Yes. And can the mobile games be played through a mobile device like you can with Spelling Shed? Yes. They don't have, there isn't an app at the moment. There isn't an app for Phonics Shed just yet, but you will still be able to go on the website and play it on a device. We are just waiting for it to be hopefully validated very soon. So we're just waiting to hear about whether Phonics Shed is validated, because we've got someone asking about that. And then we've got someone asking about setting the games and books. What I'll do next is I'm just going to show you the assessment tool, and then I will show you that as well. Can the overview, someone's also asking about whether the overview of GPCs can be seen without subscribing. I'm not actually 100%. Let's just quickly see. So whole scheme overview and planning, yes, you can. There's something that's free there. Medium term plan is free. I quickly have a look at this here. This one isn't free, but if we can have a look. Okay, so this one isn't free, but I will quickly just scroll down for you now, and then when you see the recording, you can then slow it down should you wish to. You can also, if you email support@edshed.com, they can help you with any of these sorts of questions should you have them after this. Right, so those are just some of them towards chapter 3. So if you need any more on that, if you email our support team, they'll be able to help you. Right, before I get look at the questions anymore, let's look at the assessment tool. So you can have your classes set in phonics groups if you want to. Groups, there we go. Or also whole class, it's completely up to you. They can be in as many groups as you want. And what we'll do is we'll go into a group page, and then we go to phonics data, and here we've got our assessment tool. So if I click launch assessment session, you then need to click what you are assessing, whether you want our screening check simulator, high frequency words, or a particular word list, or particular graphemes, which is what you might be assessing. So if we go to, say, chapter 4A, and say we've just taught set 1, and that's what we want to assess, click next and click the child that you're about to assess. And then it will give you a brief guidance about what's about to happen. And all it will be is you'll have the child sitting next to you, and you'll ask the pupil to give the sound for the grapheme shown, and then you can mark whether they are there, nearly there, or incorrect. And what that will do is it will bring up, like down here, it will populate this. If you need to then go back and change anything, you can click on it and change it if they've got it, and add a comment if you would like to. So that's what our assessment tool is. So those are for the graphemes, which you can see there. That's just for chapter 2. Let's have a look at 4A was the one that we just did. So that's for our assessment tool and how you can use those. Now for setting books in games, assignments is where you set work on Edshed. So you click create and then go single assignment, give it a title, should you wish, when you want it to appear for the children and when you want it to disappear. And then we'll click next. and then choose what it is. You can see all of these because I've obviously got Math Shed and all the different subscriptions. But here you can click Phonics Shed game, choose your chapter, choose your game type from the ones that we saw earlier. So maybe you want the sounding out one, and you want the grapheme that we spoke about or that we taught today. So Wing the Duckling. Then what you can do here is click limit options, and what that will do is they will only be able to access what you have set them. So they won't have access to all of the GPCs like we saw on the garden. And all you then do is click save, choose the pupils you want to give it to, and then you can also add a teacher. If you've got a teaching assistant or job share and they need to be able to see who's done their homework, you can add them in as well, and they'll be able to view that. The same with doing a book, very similar. I'll just skip through this bit. You just choose the book, choose the chapter the book's from, click select. And again, you can limit the other books so they just see this book, and click save. And I will just assign that to one of the pupils that I log in as, and we can have a look at it in a moment. Okay, I'm just going to whiz back to the questions that we've got. So, are we hoping to develop an app? Yes, it will be a different app to Spelling Shed. I'm not sure how far we are actually at the moment in the throes of making an app, but it is definitely something that we want to get sorted soon. And the scheme does suggest a timeline for the assessment. So in the long term and medium term plans, that will tell you exactly when we recommend to assess or do sort of a recap week. Now, someone's asked as well, with the digraphs, are there rhymes to help the children associate the sound, or is it just the character? At the moment, our sounds are just to do with the character, but obviously within the song, there are a lot of words with our digraph in, like there was with Wing the Duckling. But the songs, again, are something that we're still working on. Those are the ones that we've got at the moment. So finally, I'm just going to go and sign in as a pupil that has got work set for them, which is here. And then we can see that. Okay, so I've also got Spelling Shed work as well set for me here. Now, I can see the different phonics assignments that I have got. I can either access them here and that will take me straight to it, and I can see progress is how many times I've played it. The status changes with how many points that you've got. So that's just sort of another motivational tool for the pupils. You can also access the assignments if you go into Phonics Shed here, and you'll be able to see these. So this is what it looks like for people that has got some work set for them. Okay, so I can see them here now. So these are the things that I can access. I can't access the map because we had limit options on. So I can only access my phonics game here.
Oi.
Okay, so that's one of the games that I've got. And then here's my book. So I'll show you what that looks like as well. So this is lesson completed because I clicked on it earlier. There we go. I can click it again. So that's what it'll look like, which we did have a quick look at before. Okay, so you can see here how, because we've got limit options, I can't go on anything else. I can only do the work of the games that have been set for me. And same with Spelling Shed. So if I go into there, I can only click on the word lists that have been set for me here. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just have a quick check, see if we've got any other questions, because I think that's everything at the moment. So again, if you've got any more questions going forward or after this, if you email support@edshed.com, and that will go straight to our support team and they can help you with